Good afternoon, everybody. Here's an update to what we can expect, I believe, in the area of severe weather. As you may already be aware of, a severe thunderstorm watch has been hoisted for much of the southwest corner of Missouri and a chunk of Arkansas until 10 o'clock tonight. What you're looking at is the radar. This is recorded about 3:15 this afternoon. And I want to point out already that we have a line of thunderstorms. And I think that this thing will hold together as solid as you're seeing it there and will likely traverse the northern part of the area here north of Springfield and something like that, and actually take a path very similar to yesterday's band of storms, which laid down some wind and hail, and that would be pretty much solidly into the watch area. There are also some other rogue thunderstorms that have developed out ahead of the line, like here. I'm not putting a whole lot of faith in those to develop severe capabilities. However, also these storms here are in much more unstable air. And even though they're in a relatively small part of our viewing area, Southern Howell, eventually, certainly Baxter, Izard, and Fulton County, Arkansas, and eventually Oregon County may see a little more action out of these storms in terms of widespread wind and hail. Also, maybe this budding storm here in northern Douglas County, just south of Highway 60, would also be traveling in that direction as well. Let's take a look at the bigger picture here, and I'll put this into motion so you can see what's going on. So this thunderstorm area has been growing, and actually these storms are behind the cool front, but as they emerge into more unstable air, they should just develop a few more characteristics of severe storms. Again, the main calling card, I think, is damaging straight-line winds with these storms, although there have been some hail reports with them as well. And you can get the entire picture here, both of the main line to our west and the more individual cells that are forming south and east of Springfield. That's what I basically showed you on the other radar image. And of course, the warnings are out ahead of this. You can already see a few of them in effect there for the Highway 71 corridor there from Lamar north to Nevada and points north of there. And as I indicated, I think that this will hold together in its entirety and travel something like this, staying as one of these bow segments that eventually does something like this. And all along the path of that, you might expect some wind damage. Let's take a look at the watch area here, and that is basically in effect. We'll just look at that. That's the severe thunderstorm watch. It goes from northeastern Oklahoma, a small chunk of northwest Arkansas, through all of southwest Missouri, all the way up to the St. Louis area. So that's that area. Let's also take a look at the instability. So there's a pocket of really unstable air out here ahead of these storms, which is why I made the comment that I did. Now the wind shear is not as good there. On the other hand, you need both. You need unstable air and wind shear to get really organized severe thunderstorms. On the other hand, up here, you have less stability, although there is a pocket of unstable air out ahead of that feature I just outlined, and the wind shear is more favorable, especially up in this area here and northwest of this area, and will be drifting into this area. So that's why I think these storms in particular, at least for the next several hours, are the ones that are going to be watched. And as it's projected, those will go just north of Springfield, may extend southward and eventually get to the city. And the timeline on that would be in the 5 o'clock hour, I would think. It would be due north of Springfield. Then we have to watch and see what these other storms out here do. Again, the fact that they stay behind the front initially is good. There's not much of a tornado potential with this. You'll notice they did not put a tornado watch out. And that's not to say we may not get a rogue warning or something like that. It's always possible. But it's not the kind of condition we'd be looking at for favorable conditions for tornadoes. So that's some good news. And it looks like the rain will continue even post-front, behind the front, into the evening hours. So hopefully we'll get some good coverage on that as well. I'll have another update here either on Twitter, Facebook, or various other websites here, and also possibly even on YouTube later on today.